It's been a while since I've made a video. So with my Screencastify down and with the weather crappy, I'm making one now. As you can probably tell, it is drizzling a little bit, but it was coming down an hour ago. The flash flooding should be done, but it's still going to be raining for at least 12 more hours where I am. And this sort of reminds me of other weather events that happened during the summer in other years. What this really compares me to, in my eyes, but to a lesser degree obviously, is what happened in early August of 2024, mainly August 6th through 9th. They're both similar in a way. You had a hot period beforehand, with storms crossing through occasionally, and then you have a day where it's maybe not super hot, but it's still hot and humid. And then early afternoon, the storms come in, they rush in, dump a lot of rain, and then the next day is a cold one. The high temperature in the metro area is forecast to be around 75 degrees, which isn't, outrageously frigid, but it's not, warm either. And the rain's getting heavier now. It's not really like warm either for it to be 75 degrees. Just really isn't. And, in that, when it happened last year, the high was 72, but by the mid-afternoon, it fell to the 60s. Central Park was, and most of the rest of the metro area was held into the 60s for over 24 hours at a time, even though late on August 8th, temperatures did rebound into the 70s. Major difference is that this time it's going to be one day. There'll be light drizzles on August 1st, and it will be cold, but it won't be as cold. I personally think it's going to be a little bit colder than 75, but not by that much. It's not going to be 60s though, and it's not going to be a multi-day thing. August 7th and 8th were both the same. They were both rainy, cold. This will be chilly, but not as cold, and it's only lasting one day. And it's not even like August 9th it even warmed up. The humidity then shot back up. There were thunderstorms at night, and there was also a lot of wind that frequently gusted over 40 miles an hour. So that was the other thing. It's like August 2nd is already going to be beautiful in the upper 70s. August 10th last year, I think, was low 80s. And honestly, it could be low 80s over the weekend. But, oh shit, it's thundering. But that was more so a case of like, it was bad for a few days before it finally got nice. And again, similarities. It's going to be nice for the week ahead, as it'll be low to mid 80s with low humidity and cool mornings in the mid 60s. Now, of course, the difficult part of that is that it looks like we could have weather similar to this at the end of the week. And so they wouldn't be totally similar, but I can't really think of 2023, a time where the skies just opened up for a sudden, and then you had a very cold day immediately thereafter, the skies opening up in the afternoon. Now, have the skies open up in the afternoon a few times last year? Yes, they have, but it was never anything like this. And again, this is nowhere near as extreme as what happened in 2024. What I mentioned is not as extreme as what happened, but nonetheless, it is something that is happening. This does actually mean a few interesting things. For the third year in a row, my camp's overnight has been negatively affected by precipitation, and I've had to move people inside 3 years in a row now. Now, I was on a travel tour in 2022, so I can attest to what happened in 2022. But seeing as that summer was very dry for the most part, especially on Thursdays. I doubt anything of consequence really happened. But last 3 years, I mean, it's been consistent. The first year, August 10th into 11th, in the afternoon of August 10th, rain poured down, about a half-inch fell across the metro area, which wasn't a lot. And it was certainly a lot better than August 7th when, I think like 1.1 inches of rain poured down in Central Park, and there was flash floods throughout the metro area on August 7th with many rounds of severe thunderstorms. August 10th was certainly tamer by comparison, but it was still bad. Luckily, the rain stopped in the evening, and August 11th was beautiful, temperatures reaching the upper 80s. This is going to be more like August 8th into 9th. Where, but not quite. August 8th, we know, was a day where it was 60s in the afternoon, but then rose to 70s at night. It was drizzling during the day for the most part, but then the rain started to pick up at night because by the end of the day, half an inch of rain fell, or almost half an inch of rain fell. And on August 9th, that was the day that was in the low to mid 80s with the really high wind gusts and the really high humidity that also made it feel unpleasant as a tropical storm was like literally crossing through. Like literally. This year, it's like you have one day that's really hot. It actually pushed 90 degrees today, which it wasn't supposed to, but it did. And it was humid, and then we have the storms opened up. We don't know what the rainfall total is going to be yet because the event's unfolding, but it is a comparison that I figured I should make. I will say this, we haven't really had too much big rain events during camp so far. There were some morning showers on July 10th, but that was about it. A lot of the time it was nighttime, really bad rainstorms. July 1st is a key example, especially July 14th, especially in Central Park, where they received a record amount of rain, over 2.5 inches. Here, not as much. But looking at here, on Long Island, you have storms on the 27th, right after camp, and the 25th right after camp, and then 27th mid-afternoon. Now, I'm not saying there's a ton of rain then, but this rain is also needed. The drought monitor has conditions expanding. Okay, I gotta go back home. It has conditions expanding on, to all Long Island. So this rain is needed. But of course, it would be nicer if it didn't come in as violent fashion. But then again, you can't really get, that without it being a full day of rain. So it's a very messy scenario. The end of July is raining. We haven't really seen the end of July be rainy in a while, but end of months have been rainy. But I'll get to that in a later video.